When a year ago seismologists heard this sound, they were baffled. Baffled because the sound was a single note, as you can hear. And baffled because it went on for 9 days. A long time for a seismic event, to say the least. Now researchers have traced the source of that sound. It was quite the investigation, and found out that it originated, like many of the best seismological events, in East Greenland. Dr. Stephen Hicks of University College London is the man with his ear to the ground, metaphorically itself. Welcome.
Hiya.
Hello. Tell me about the investigation. Tell me about the process.
Yeah, so almost a year to the day now, we detected this signal that looked completely different to earthquakes, which is normally what we look for. If we listen to earthquakes, they would be a mixture of rumbles and pings. This was just that completely monotonous sound. So we knew roughly it had come from East Greenland. But then we joined forces with colleagues in Denmark. Obviously, Greenland is a Danish territory. So they do a lot of field work there, and they had reports of a large tsunami in one of the fjords called Dixon Fjord.
Okay, so the tsunami is the thing that is creating this sound. What created the tsunami, though?
So what happened was a mountain, 1.5 kilometres high above the fjord, collapsed. It was previously being held up by a glacier.
Okay.
That glacier has thinned by about 30 metres over the last 20 years, and it was no longer able to prop up that mountain. So that mountain suddenly collapsed, racing down this glacier beneath it, picking up more ice, getting faster and faster, destroying the glacier, then making a big splash into the fjord. And that led to a 200-metre high wave at its maximum. Absolutely huge.
Phenomenal.
And that then, the energy of that wave just couldn't escape out of the fjord. So it kept sloshing back and forth, like in our bathtub, for 9 days, which is just completely crazy.
I've got to say, Evan Davis has come into the studio to tell us about PM. You're looking absolutely astonished, Evan.
It's my favourite story, this, because it's amazing to think that you could feel the effect of that hundreds of miles away, thousands of miles away, on this little planet we live on.
Yeah, exactly. If we think about this event was caused by climate change, ultimately. If we think about climate change, we think about effects up in the sky, changing weather patterns at different places. This is the first time we're actually looking down beneath our feet due to a seismic vibration which spread from the Arctic to Antarctica in less than an hour. No place beneath our feet was immune to those tiny ground vibrations.
What I don't understand, and no doubt you'll sort of sort me out, is why this sound lasted for 9 days. I mean, is that the water just sloshing back and forth, or is it the echoes around the world? And if it was the latter, surely they'd sound different.
No, this is one of the puzzles. We didn't know if it was kind of like an earth effect, or was it something happening at the source where the tsunami happened. It took us a long time to figure this out. We had to make some detailed numerical simulations of how that wave evolved over those 9 days. And we found that because that landslide sort of went in at 90 degrees to the narrow bit of the fjord, the long axis of the fjord, all that energy, that initial tsunami energy, was then directed towards the other shoreline. So then it just couldn't escape laterally and just kept bouncing back and forth in that narrow 3-kilometre wide bit of the fjord.
Have you ever known anything like this?
No, that's why it took us a year, almost the best part of a year, to get this paper out. We had to make completely new methods, new workflows, and new sort of mindset to actually figure out what to do with this crazy signal.
I should say, for those that are watching in black and white, you are smiling broadly. Have you rather enjoyed this process of finding out what it was and finding something new as well?
It was, I managed to work with a great team of 67 other co-authors, not just seismologists, landslide experts. Fortunately, this was an uninhabited fjord. No one lives in that area. There were fortunately no cruise ships in the area. Some tourist cruise ships go into this fjord, but there was one there the day before, one there the day after. So we got lucky. So no one was injured or killed in this event. But ultimately, from a sort of darker view, it does really shed light on these big catastrophic climate change triggered events.
And sorry, just briefly, did you go to the fjord? Did you have the joy?
No, I didn't. I plan to, if someone will fund me to go. But some of our co-authors went a few weeks ago and actually went there for the first time since this big event and captured sort of the aftermath.
OK, deep-pocketed listeners, prepare to give now. Dr. Stephen Hicks, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for coming into the studio. A real pleasure to meet you. Our main headlines this